Hey y'all, I'm here. I'm back with another video. Thank you guys so much for watching my last video. It must have resonated with so many of y'all because I got a lot of likes and a decent amount of views on that video. So we here, y'all. We here. This episode, don't worry, I ain't gonna go off like that because this episode, to be quite honest, was a filler. And I realized that it's a filler because they probably really wanted to film with the girls, but because everybody got COVID, they couldn't. So, this is Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, episode 9. All right. So, before we get there, let's finish off where we left off last week, okay? So, Sutton is crying, and everybody goes to go and coddle Sutton. Nobody stays behind. I peeped that nobody stayed behind for Crystal, but everybody and their mama runs to coddle Sutton. Okay, find that interesting. But anyway, so Crystal was fine chilling by herself. I know that's right. So then Garcelle comes over and, she talks to Crystal and she was like, people don't like the word violate. I'm not going to explain this situation no more. Like, I'm not going to keep explaining why it is that she can say it. And I know Crystal is getting tired of saying it too. And I know she said it like in a shorter time span than I have. So I know she's like super over it. And she stood by what she said. Again, I said what I said. And I'm not changing it. Like, I don't know if Crystal needs to wear a shirt that says that, but all of y'all trying to convince her to change her words, it's actually disgusting and it's pissing me off that y'all want to make somebody. I don't like it. I don't fucking like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. Okay. And then Garcelle's like, I mean, I get what you're saying, but you gotta bend a little bit. No. Wait. No. Not bending for nobody. I said what I said. If she can't handle it, oh well. But I'm not bending and I'm not coddling this grown ass woman with a grown daughter in college like y'all. Not doing that. She needs to be in the dough. Okay. So everybody finally comes and sits down and they tell Sutton to come sit down. Sutton apologizes about what she said about her pants, which I'm pretty sure she could give two fucks about that. And so Sutton is like, okay, well, what about you like triggers me? Like, is there something like, did I trigger you? What did I say? And she was like, you don't trigger me. Your presence trigger me. Girl, goodbye and good night. Because even Erica was like, girl, bye. Girl, bye. Come on. So then at this point, I think Crystal was like just completely over it. So Crystal was like, look, I will not apologize for something you did to me. I'm not apologizing for something you did to me. You're inappropriate. You're awkward as fuck. She ain't say as fuck, I did. You're inappropriate. You're awkward and you're crying for attention. I said, bitch, Crystal, if you don't read down, okay? Tell the honest truth. Let's break that down, shall we? Because I ain't got a lot to talk about anyway, so we might as well break down the petty shit. Let's see. You're inappropriate. Very inappropriate. Why would you walk in on somebody who didn't say yes? I don't care if you thought that you heard it. You didn't hear her clearly. Number 2, you're very awkward. I told y'all last week, Sutton is weird. She's weird. She's weird. She's weird. She's weird. And number 3, you are crying for attention. You're pulling a Karen like somebody in my comments said, and it's very annoying. You are the one who did the offending, but now you want to turn around and make it about you. You're the one who walked into her space, but you want her to apologize for how that made her feel. That's why I am glad. I'm so glad that Crystal did not apologize because there was no point of apologizing. I'm not apologizing for what you did to me. And it's given me very much the whole situation with Ebony and Lou when Lou was like, oh, I want you to apologize. And Ebony's like, I'm not apologizing for how I felt. Y'all gonna stop telling people, non-white people, to apologize to y'all for their feelings. We're not gonna do it. Take it or leave it. And I seen a post of Ebony with Crystal, saying that she supports her. I'm glad that they here because the nonsense that both of them got to deal with these ignorant ass white hoes is very annoying, and I'm pretty sure they can lean on each other. Good golly, Miss Wally. So, Sutton is like, you don't say that. I don't know. Sutton got to her feelings again, and Crystal was like, you can leave then. Like, you're obnoxious, girl. You can leave. I'm like, Crystal, stand in it, bitch. That's right. She really, at that moment, became my favorite person. I don't care what else she does. She really told her the whole honest truth and with her whole chest, and she meant it, and she sat in it. I know that's the fuck right. So then Garcelle said what she said last week, which is, Sutton, tell us what you need to move on. I'm so tired of this. Please just tell her what you need to move on. So she wants an apology for the manic comment. So at first, Crystal was like, I'm not about to apologize for that, because like I meant that. And then they was like, well, no, because I heard that and stuff. She was like, all right, I apologize that you felt that way. And they're like, that's not an apology. She was like, I'm sorry. Okay, so thank goodness that is over. Like, good golly, that shit was so annoying. So then 4 days later, we found out that Kathy, Dorit, and Kyle got the penny proud. Okay, they got the panoramic, they got the vid, they got the COVID. Okay, and so now all of the girls have to quarantine for 2 weeks. Okay, so now it's December 2nd. Now news about the embezzlement lawsuit goes out there. I am not gonna sit on here and explain everything. If y'all really want to know like my feelings on the entire situation with Erica and her husband, y'all can go back and watch my I think it's called The Hustler and the Housewife. ABC did a special on it on Hulu, and I reviewed that whole thing. So I gave y'all all of my feelings on everything on how I feel. I'm gonna just put this on the out front just so that we can all be on the same page. I do not believe that Erica Jane knew in detail what the hell Tom was doing as far as passing that money on to her account. Okay, if y'all don't know, to give a really, really, really quick summary for people who don't want to read it, put it like this. Tom was a lawyer. Did they bar him yet? I don't think he's allowed to practice law anymore. Tom was a lawyer at one point in time, and his big thing was to help, the small person, the small guy, the average guy, get money and stuff like that from the big companies who pretty much fucked them over. Now, there became a point in time when, this is how to give like a really quick brief, I'm really trying to be as brief as I can. When a company does a settlement, right? There is an account that the money goes into, and then there's an account for the lawyer. All of that money goes into the account, and then the lawyers take what it is that, that they're owed, and then after that, they take that money and they give the rest of it to the client. They are never supposed to touch the rest of that money. That is illegal because it's not their money. Tom is being alleged of taking that money that was in that account specifically for just the victims, way more than he was supposed to. So a lot of the victims never got their money. Some people didn't get anything at all. Some people got small amounts. The way that Erica pulls into this is because they are trying to say that Tom siphoned a lot of that money into Erica's career, into her different accounts and things like that. That's the quickest, briefest way. I do not believe that Erica Jane knew that the money that she was getting from Tom was specifically from taking from those people. That is my opinion. I don't want to explain it no more. Let's go. So, they talked about how she filed divorce for convenience. I already explained that to how that works, okay? So then 2 days later, Erica, Kyle, and I'm sorry because I just finished doing my Real Housewives of New York, so I'm trying to get them names out of my head. Erica, Kyle, and Lisa, they all were on a, little FaceTime chat with each other, whatever. And, they're asking Erica how she's doing. And, she was like, my divorce isn't a sham. It's very annoying that people think that, the firm is being sued and now I'm being tagged along. That's exactly what's happening. The firm and Tom like that is being sued. And because Tom is completely broke, Tom said out of his own mouth on camera during a deposition that he has no money. At one point in time, he had, I think, like 50 million or something like that in stocks and another 100 in cash. He has no money anymore. Nothing. He's broke as hell. And so, Erica's getting tagged along into that. So, she's like, I don't understand why, I'm getting dragged into it. I've just explained to y'all why, because they feel like, they said in the documentary that at one point in time, there was some money, I think it was like maybe $20 million, something like that he moved from the firm's account to Erica Jane's LLC. So that's what a lot of it has to come from too. And that kind of plays into what I was saying before to y'all throughout the past episodes, that I feel like the reason Erica is doing this show is because she needs to be able to prove that she is able to get money and that she can get money outside of whatever Tom helped fund for her. Okay, so You know, she has to pay for her own lawyers because, like I said, Tom is broke as hell. He ain't got shit. And then, you know, plus her being locked down is like really driving her insane, okay? You know, she cried and, you know, she said, I didn't do this, I didn't do this. Now, some people, you know, people was giving her a hard time online and on Twitter and like, oh, she's doing this for cameras. I do feel like certain things that Erica is saying, she's saying on purpose because she know that the courts and stuff is going to look at this. So I feel like her specifically saying out of her mouth, I did not do this, is definitely to try to help her case in a degree. It's to help her case publicly and I think, you know, in a court of law as well. But I do believe her when she says that. I do not think that she knew. I don't even think that she had any idea about where Tom was getting his money from. I really don't. And we'll talk about it later with what Crystal said. Actually, we're right here. So, Lisa and Crystal come over to Erica's house. Okay, Erica's not doing well. She called her therapist and stuff like that. She talks about how Tom ain't shit. She says that, you know, she's frustrated because all at the end of the day that she has is her name, and trying to accuse her of stealing from, you know, orphans and stuff like that. Because what did she say at one point? Because Lisa was like, yeah, you know, it's one thing when you really think so highly of somebody, and then for the next minute, and Erica's like, yeah, you stealing from orphans and widows and shit like that. So somebody said online, oh, she never brought them up one time. Yes, she did. She said it then. And this is not me trying to cape for Erica. Lord knows I'm not trying to cape for Erica, because I do feel bad for those families. But I also watched the documentary itself and I watched the news special. So from everything that I watched and everything that I could take in, this is not to me like Erica purposely going out of her way to say, don't give them hoes money. Make sure that I have money. They better never ever get anything. This is simply a wife who's been getting money from her husband for years. For decades. He just always gave her money. Why would you turn around? He's a lawyer, right? Everybody knows he's a lawyer. Why would I have to go around and question that? It's not even like Tom is a small time lawyer. He's like one of the biggest lawyers, period. Had one of the highest freaking settlement cases. So why would she think that he's doing anything wrong with his money? If especially when she came into the situation, he already had a lot of money. That's what I'm saying. So even Crystal at one point in time, you know, she says that she didn't know. Erica talks about how Tom is taking everybody down with him, everybody who's connected to his firm, everybody. So Erica said, one thing I could tell women is make sure that you look at your bank account. Like, make sure, because I never did. Now, Crystal said, and I don't know why, but she said it scares her to look at the bank account. And, you know, Lisa talks about, you know, how most women, you know, they don't know, especially those who don't work, which is what I was talking to y'all about before. Like, I don't think that women like Dorit, Crystal, Erica, I don't think women like that, they have any idea about how the finances work the same way freaking, what's the pink dog girl that I can't stand, Cam. I don't really think she understands for real how finances work. They just know that they get the money and that they can spend it. They don't really care about anything else. Now, Crystal said that she does not know much about the finance at all, which, you know, plays into what I was saying about Erica. She said, but she thinks that if she asked her husband, that he would show her and explain it to her. And if he didn't, that would be a red flag. Boom. Yahtzee, okay? So, you know, 2 years ago, and they talk about this in the little docuseries or whatever the hell is called, news special, that 2 years ago, Erica was listed in a lawsuit as well in Arizona. That's a whole nother situation that happened with the family, and they had Tom as their lawyer. And also, I want to say this, these people, like, Tom was their lawyer, okay? And then he won the cases for them. He just never paid them the settlement amount that the companies paid him, you know, gave him to give out, pretty much. So there was a similar situation like that in Arizona. So she said she came and she asked him about it, and he was like, babe, that's bullshit. Like, don't even pay attention to it. So she was like, all right. And then she said she tried to ask a little bit more. He's like, don't worry about it. Now, some people will be like, you need to be worried about it. But again, that's her husband. Not only that's her husband, he's a lawyer. Like, he's a top lawyer. So if my husband, who's a top lawyer, is telling me, girl, that ain't nothing to be worried about, I'm gonna think that's nothing to be worried about, because all the way up until now, however long they've been with each other, I've never had to worry about it before. So why should I have to worry about it now? I can understand that thinking. So then Garcelle goes to see Kyle. They talk about Erica. Kyle says that she don't think Erica did it. Garcelle says she don't know because she don't really know Erica. Lisa talks to her daughter. This was a filler episode, y'all, because we literally spent 10 minutes on Lisa talking to her damn daughter about some dresses and another 10 minutes with Sutton and her. It was just a filler episode. I was like cooking. That's how I know. And so Sutton and Lisa, they meet up with the dogs. Who fucking cares? Let's move on. So Erica and Kyle, they end up meeting up, okay? And like as soon as Kyle goes like, you know, hey, how are you doing? Erica just start crying. Now, I have never seen Erica cry on this show. Maybe she has, but I haven't seen it. And if it's happened, it's not happened a whole lot. Like, she was crying. Now, some people feel like it was fake. I don't think that it was fake. And maybe that's just me being gullible, whatever the case may be. Because I don't know why. I just feel like in her face, it was just like a crack, like a, girl, I'm tired, which is what she said. Like, I'm just tired. I'm exhausted. You know, she was like, her hands are pretty much really tied. She hates the fact that everybody thinks that her divorce is a sham and everybody turned on her. I'm pretty sure they did. She said, you could tell that she, of course, obviously still loves Tom, because she was like, I hope somebody's checking up on Tom, like, because I know for a fact he isn't good right now. He can't be good. He doesn't have any money, and they're liquidating all of his assets. Of course that man ain't good. And so she was like, you know, I hope somebody goes check up on him. And Kyle was like, well, what about you? She was like, absolutely not. Like, I haven't talked to him since the day I left. I'm not about to start now. You know, she talks about how, you know, he was having bad health ailments and lying about it. Now, next week, it shows that Erica is going to bring up how she feels like Tom had a little bit of dementia going on. Now, a lot of people are going to say that this is her setting the case that Tom had dementia, because that is the defense that they are using in his, you know, court proceedings. They're trying to say that the reason all this happened is because Tom was mentally unfit. And so that's what they're going through the process of right now. So I can see how somebody can look at this and be like, Erica, you trying to plead your case. It don't look good, sis. And do I believe you though? Yes, because I think I said before, when I see Tom on TV, I be like, bruh, at least the last time, I'm like, bro, that nigga do not look like he doing good. Like, he don't even know he looks like what day it is. But that's just my personal thing from what I've seen on TV. But I can see how somebody could be like, girl, you making a whole case for yourself. So, they also talk about, you know, Kyle was like, I was disgusted when I found out he wanted you to pay for his lawyers. It's because he's broke, Kyle. He don't got a motherfucking dime to his name. Erica really do have way more money at this point than Tom does, because they've taken everything that he got. He ain't got shit. So yeah, he want her to pay for his lawyers because he ain't got shit, okay? So Erica talked about, you know, how she was like, I've never said this, but you know, Tom, the more and more that I like climbed, and once I got Chicago and stuff like that, like, he just was looking at me like, who the fuck do you think you are? That's not hard to believe, because that's what like a lot of like powerful men do. That's why they keep a certain woman, you know, a certain type of woman, a very passive, very don't do shit, but sit in the house, maybe go out and spend a whole lot of money, but other than that, don't do shit, because it's their ego at the end of the day that they give a fuck about, okay? And they don't want to see you do well and be the star. They want to be the star, okay? So, you know, she pretty much said it's a disaster, and it is a disaster. This shit is a hot ass mess. I'm not saying that I don't feel for the victims, but, and I see people online like, oh, she's not even concerned about the victims and she's only talking about herself. Well, she the one going through it. Would you not be concerned about yourself if you got dragged into some losses that has absolutely nothing to do with you? Would you not? What can she do for them victims right now? Y'all want her to come out of pocket and pay? Y'all don't know. This man owes people hundreds of millions of dollars. It's not a little itty bitty money. It's hundreds of millions of dollars. And yes, technically that money has been spent on Erica, but I do not believe in my heart to heart that Erica knew down to brass tacks what specifically Tom was doing. I think that like plenty of women, especially women who have very rich husbands, girl, and actually there's women who don't even have rich husbands. We could talk about middle class women who stay at home. That's all they do. They stay at home and they watch the kids and take care of the house. Not to say that any of the greater one, but they stay at home, they take care of the kids. That's what they do. And their husbands is the one that work. I'm telling you, it happens that they don't know what the fuck financially. Huh? One, because ain't there only two? How many you want? I kind of want to. 1.5. And so, yeah, like that happens all the time. Like I said, middle class women who, like I said, stay at home and stuff, and their husband comes home and all, I mean, you know, they work and stuff like that. They don't be having no say in the finances. They don't get to look at the finances and see what's going on. Trust me, it's people in my own family who don't have a lot of money, who have absolutely no idea about anything about their finances. It's not that hard to believe. And like I said, especially when your husband is making as much money as Tom is and has been and was before you. You know what I'm saying? If it's never been a problem for 20 something years about the money that y'all was getting and everybody around y'all fucked with y'all, everybody that didn't know y'all fucked with y'all, and you was constantly getting money non-stop and it was never an issue, why would you think that there is at any point in time? And on top of that, how much do y'all really want her to be into his business? That's his actual business, not just their finances. It's his business. She's not a damn lawyer. She probably don't know the books of his fucking law firm. I wish people who don't know anything about like law and the way that a company and a business corporation is set up and how I wish everybody would just shut up, because y'all don't know what y'all talking about. Y'all want to talk just to talk, and I feel like y'all want to hate just to hate. That's all I got, y'all. I'm out. Bye.